What about the sort of the origins of the Yes Network? Like, now from the network standpoint, just kind of going in. I mean, did you envision that it would become this? Did you maybe it was maybe there's a story about whether or not it was going to fail at some point?
No, I knew this.
Okay.
I knew this for a fact. Because of the backing that we had with Goldman Sachs at the outset, and because it was the New York Yankees, and because they were coming off the dynasty, I knew that the team was still very competitive and had a chance to get back to multiple World Series. They did in 2003. They had a shot in 2002. We all know what happened in 2004. But, you know, going in, to answer your question, it's the Yankees.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything is too big to fail,
the brand is very, very, very
I mean,
strong.
it's just it's going into a job and knowing that you pretty much have security. That's at least the way I looked at it. And you know, who knew that the first couple of years the Nets would have the seasons they had? And you know, I grew up a Knicks fan. I still am, and I know Net fans don't want to hear that. But I root for the Nets, and other fans might be saying, other fans might be saying right now, how could you be a Knicks fan and root for the Nets?
Oh, Dexter gets that all the time.
Well, yeah, I
get that because they're part of our brand. That's why I'd be stupid to not root for the Nets.
Right.
And when you cover a team, especially now, and I know we're going to get into the Nets later, so I don't want to rush.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
But I like the guys on this team.
Right.
I like the coach of this team. I like the general manager of this team.
And you couldn't always say that.
No, there's a lot to like. There's just a lot to like about the Brooklyn Nets, and that's not the companies coming through. I mean, that's just my genuine. When you do this, when you're in this business and you're around it, I think you get desensitized to it a little bit. You're not as much of a rabid fan anymore as you know the business part of it. You know what I mean?
I'm already desensitized.
So it's an interesting way to look at it, and I think, you know, I could still be a crazy Knicks fan and root for the Nets. I'm sorry if you can't handle that out there, but it's the
I because we both do work for Nets Daily,
and that's why we get that all the time.
Being a video journalist for Nets Daily, I've just always had Nets fans who either find out that I grew up a Knicks fan or I love the Knicks, and I still do, and they'll be like, "How could you do that?" But I never not want the Nets to succeed.
Because it's in your blood.
Yeah, and the Nets succeeding has given me great opportunities. It's given Bryan great, opportunities.
Well, they haven't succeeded.
They haven't that great when he covered him. But I got to, when they first came to Brooklyn, I got to, cover them a lot and go to practices and, sort of do this great content that we had. So, of course, I want to see them do good. I never want to see them do bad. I mean, now, if they play the Knicks in a series, everybody knows who I'm rooting for. Yeah. But I'm not going to put that out in my work. It hasn't affected my work or what I do. Yeah. So, I think it's good you brought that up, that fans can understand that.
Yeah.
And part of that with the podcast, not to cut you off, part of that with the podcast when we started it, we were like, oh, we know that Dexter's Knick fandom is going to be kind of pushed to the forefront here. So as that kind of started, because we're revealing ourselves more and more, this is our 33rd episode now, and then it's like, a lot of
Harry Gann episode,
right?
We're going with that.
And then a lot of Net fans were like,
he drove the Skull Bandit car, by the way.
Didn't know that.
A lot of Net fans are like, oh, I can't believe Dexter's a Knick fan, and they can't kind of differentiate the two when to us being in this business, and I've been here a lot shorter time than you guys have, but I can understand already that, you're going to be desensitized to it.
But I'm still going to be who I am and still be
it's easy to separate the two. It's easy to separate it's easy to separate if you a fan of a different team. Like, it's easy to separate who you are professionally versus who you are personally.
Yeah, but I think Chris might even agree with me on this, and he hit on this a little bit, is, hey, when you work in this business a lot, and Chris is a Yankee fan, and he's a Knicks fan, and grew up a Knicks fan, you become less of a rabid fan, as he said. You start to look at the wins and losses. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt as bad.
Right.
You remember when, like, a Yankee loss or a Knick loss used to mess up your week?
I'll tell you right now.
It doesn't happen anymore. Not for me.
I'll tell you this.
I'm too old for that.
I'll tell you this straight up. 2004, I needed medication.
Damn. You know what?
NyQuil. I could not sleep without the help of NyQuil.
No, but
that was the worst Yankees fan.
That's the thing. Nightmare. I understand that.
I understand.
What I mean?
The other people can look at it and say, Yankees, you guys won all the time. How could you feel bad about 2004? Because 2004 was the worst way.
Red Sox.
And it was 3-0, and then, oh my God.
But you know what? I'll never forget it. Before Game 4, Fox had Dennis Leary do this long intro.
Oh, I remember that. I remember where I was for watching this.
On how the Yankees were, they always own them, and it's just the script, and this is the way it goes. After that intro, 4 straight Red Sox wins.
Can I ask you? I want to ask you a question because we're going off something we didn't plan to talk about. I want to ask you this: Game 3 of that series, right? The Yankees demolished.
Was that the 18-7 game or something?
I'll never forget this. I was in my senior year of college. My roommate was a Yankees. He's a Yankees fan. Dave Thomas, great guy, big Yankees fan.
But you hated his team.
Yeah, but we're great friends. We've known each other since we were 11. But we're great friends. That night, we were watching the game. They're blowing them out. We were going to just stay home. They said, let's go out. So we decided to go. We go out, go to this club in Pittsburgh. They're blowing them out. It's crazy. Music was like that night. We're having a good night.
Music was like
Yankee fans are happy. They have it on the big screen in this club. People are cheering. Chris, we leave that night. We go back home. I say to my friend Dave, I said, this is over, man. This is over. Then we got the next game in our apartment watching it. We see that intro with Dennis Leary. They win that game. Dave says to me, I'm worried. Oh. And I'm a Mets fan. What? So I'm looking at this like, this is the Yankees. Ain't nothing to worry about.
Right.
My dad.
And Boston was still cursed. Yes, that's an important part of this.
My dad says, not worried but slightly concerned. Game 5. My dad's like, something's happening here. So what I say all this to say the way everything unfolded, and we all know what happens after that, I understand why somebody like Chris might have said, I need a timeout and some medication, some NyQuil to get to sleep, because it was the worst way it could have happened.
NyQuil usually, it's the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, headache. Why the hell did I wake up on the kitchen floor medicine? And that is a John Pinette line. I got to give credit where credit is due.
Thank you for doing that.
The late great John Pinette, stand-up comedian.
Yep.
But I would toss and turn with it. So that's,
are you over it? Have you recovered?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're good.
I have 2 kids now. I mean, that's the other thing. Like, that's something fans don't understand. And I know fans with kids are still rabid like that, but I have bigger fish to fry now.
Yeah, bigger stuff to worry about. I get that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I mean, and I listen. I want the Yankees to win. I want the Nets to win. I want the Knicks to win. But if they don't, it's out of my control. I can only control what I can control. That's the best way I could put it. And then the next day, the next morning, the way I look at it is, was I wearing a uniform?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nothing I can do.
The control what you can control. I literally said that to myself this morning.
There you go.
Yeah, that's all you can do.